Welcome back, everyone, and Happy New Year to each and every one of you. We are back with another live session from our weekly lives. Today, we have with us Mr. Amey Lakeshri. He is the Director of CyberSecurity, Privacy, and Incident Response at EY. With over 14 years of expertise, he is a 40 under 40 cyber leader, cyber Spartan, and a recipient of awards like Cyber Professionals over the Year and COVID-19 Superhero CIO and CISO Award. A business savvy MIM MBA graduate from IES, he is passionate about continuous learning and collaboration. Join us for yet another candid conversation from our tech leader today. Mr. Lakeshri, could you help us with your journey, share a bit about your dynamic experience for the last 14 years?
Yeah, happy new year to everyone, and thank you for inviting me on this. So, if I talk about my overall 14 years journey, it has been, in a different domains, right? I started with completely basics. So, in 2010 to 2011, that was the era where networking was at, boom. Everybody wanted to be a network admin, to be the main guy who handles the network, understands what is network. So I've gone through, a lot of studies. I've gone through a lot of different projects, right, in my early stage of career. And from there, I moved to network security. Then I moved to the compliance, and that's how then I entered into the cyber. And now currently, I'm also working aggressively on the incident response, helping different organizations to come out of the that panic situation or be prepared for that one as well, right? But this journey has been in the different domains. So that has been a quite interesting aspect, I'll say, because I didn't start it directly on security. I started with the basics of understanding the networking. When I say networking, you need to understand what you're protecting, the infrastructure, the devices, assets, right? The connectivity, how the data will get transferred, how the data is being stored, etc. Anything and everything. I started with networking, understanding the entire network, then understanding the application landscapes, then working on the different security angles, and then on the compliance side. That's how the this 14 years has been.
Thank you so much for giving us a glimpse of this incredibly inspirational journey, Mr. Lakeshri. I have yet another question for you. You have been recognized throughout these years. You've also received the 40 under 40 CIO Leadership Awards, and you have carved your space in the tech space. How have you, kept the momentum throughout these years? What has inspired you, and how has it changed your perspective?
Of course, I mean, when you get awarded, you feel motivated, right? That's one point. But I remember I got my first award in 2015. That was with one of the organization, right? And I was the employee of the year, the most promising talent. I saw tears in my dad's eyes, right? And then it's all started. And then I got my first CISO award in 2018, right? So when you go back, you work hard, right, every day. I'm sure you feel good when you get awarded with this kind of, or you get recognized with this kind of, tags in the industry. To be honest, more than that, I take it as a responsibility or as a duty that I have to go back and contribute back to the industry. What I've learned, whatever, it might be 1%, 2%, but I have to give it back to the team. I have to give it back to the industry. I have to give it back to the people around me or to people whom I can reach out to. And that's what I keep on encouraging myself and taking out time, even from this kind of busy schedule of consulting. I keep on getting time uh, to go to the conferences, meet different people, understand their aspects, understand their pain points, what's happening now practically. And I always like to be on ground. And with that, I also get this kind of awards. Sometimes I feel very good on that.
Wonderful. And here's to many milestones ahead. And congratulations to you on receiving
Thank you.
so many awards and recognitions. But along the lines, you have specialized in cybersecurity when it comes to the cyberspace. You know it better. You moderated a lot of panels as well. Over the years, the risk landscape has also evolved. I want to understand from you, are there any common challenges that you have come across and how have you addressed them over the years?
Yes, we do. I mean, I'll take it in this way, right? People are investing, organizations are investing a lot in cyberspace. There are certain organizations organizations who are still thinking whatever they have is they're okay with that, and they accept some of the risk elements and go in that way. So it is up to us how we define the risk, right? How we understand the risk, how we categorize that, right? Then there are categories like management risk, operational risk, security risk, etc., etc. There are a lot, right? And after that, you have to put controls on that. So it is called as risk control. You can say self-assessment you have to do, RCSA, and you have to put controls against that. So, for example, if your inherent risk is critical and you have controls on that, then it becomes a little bit diluted, and you can have a residual risk which you have to take care of, right? And what are the common challenges I have seen are, to be honest, Imran, those are basics, right? A big organization invested a lot of money, a lot of things, and they are missing on the basic elements, what I have seen, right? There are always a trigger, there are always indicators which you have to see. You have to have a strong monitoring on that, right? Where you see those are coming. Threat actors are already in or they're trying to get in, right? There are some indicators you will always see indicator of attacks or indicator of compromise, right? That you need to understand, identify, right? You need to have a good controls on detect and protect. Then you have to have a good team, good resources who can analyze and understand that, right? You need to have people with the cross-function skills, right? And it is very important that the first person who is checking that should have that understanding to say it is an incident, right? So you can have lakhs of events coming, but how will you identify it is an incident or not? And that's where the missing elements are. That you have a good technology, you have a good people around you. You need to also have a best practices and processes around it. Then only you can have a reduced attack surface where you can have a better operations, better visibility towards your infrastructure. That is going to help you. The common challenges are the missing elements are the basics. You don't know what's there in your asset, right? You don't have a complete control on your data, right? You have sometimes don't have the end-to-end visibility for the security controls you have put it. So, for example, your security controls are partially implemented. That means you are ad hoc. You're doing it on need basis. Then probably you maybe have defined controls, but it is not throughout the organization. Or probably you have the controls which are throughout the organization, but you're not checking that, or you're not improvising that, you're not monitoring that. Or probably you're monitoring, but you have never updated or upgraded that. So there are stages of maturity which you have to achieve, right? And that's how the risk will get reduced. The more you go up, the risk will get reduced.
Absolutely. And like you said, that cyber risk are going to evolve over the years. They are here to stay. Would it be safe to assume that organizations need to have a proactive approach when it comes to building a resilient, strategy for that matter?
Resilience is a key word. That's the best word I'll say. Even the NSG have acknowledged that, right, in their 2.0 version, right? And for that strategy, yes, proactive approach is important. You cannot be always reactive. Again, in reactive also, I'll talk about it more in a bit. But however, proactive is something you have to be ready for that. You have to keep on checking. I'll give you an example. You need to have a better incident response plan. Let's go back and understand that will come from the disaster recovery plan. Go back, that will come from the business continuity plan. So at the end, what you are investing on is going to enable your business, right? So security is to actually enable the business. It's not a showstopper or a blocker for your organization. You have to take it in that way. So proactive approach, when you say you need to have a good incident response plan, you need to have a playbooks, run books, right? You need to have your use cases defined. You can use different standards like MITRE attack framework, or you can have a attack, cyber attack kill chain, anything, right? Go with the best one, what you can implement, and that should be practical, right? You can have thousands of use cases you can download, and after a year, when you check out of those thousands, only 998 might have been triggered. Not triggered, sorry, only two have been triggered. So you have to understand how your business works. Then you have to put controls on that. You have to assess, understand, and then put controls on that. So proactive approach, you have to keep doing. And some of the services which does that is understanding your current state, performing the compromise assessment, performing the regular threat huntings, performing the regular VAPTs, Nowadays, everybody's talking about automated PT only, right? But that's at the initial stage, right? It is something I believe is a subjective, right? And it comes on the human mind, how you logically go and try to exploit. For example, if I give you some vulnerability, the way you will think, the way I will think to exploit that will might be different, right? So PT is like quite subjective. You need to have key people, smart people on that, where you have to keep on doing it from the different vendors or different third parties or different persons so that you get a different views on the PT. And you need to keep on doing the risk assessment. I think we have already covered that. So these are the some proactive approaches you should keep on doing. And most importantly, keep monitoring whatever you have.
Fantastic, and thank you so much for throwing some light on the proactive approach. Coming back to cybersecurity and the evolving landscape, we have emerging technologies like AI, Gen AI, which are now taking the center stage. What is your take when it comes to these technologies? We had cloud, we have AI. How will these technologies impact the future of cybersecurity? Or how will it be related to if organizations can leverage these technologies to enhance cybersecurity?
So we all go to marriages and we go to reception, we click photos and we create albums on that. And when you actually check the album, you will see one or two kids who are there in all the photos, most of the photos. So today, AI and ML are those kids who are everywhere, right? And even cyber attackers are using the same, right, in an unethical way. And even the cyber defenders are using it in an ethical way. But there is always a thin line what is ethical and what is not ethical, right? What is unethical. So you need to also have a good policy around usage of AI, right? The ethical usage of AI within the organization. You need to keep a control on your data, what the people are putting in the different, chat GPT or any other platforms to just to get a good summary out of it, etc., for any other purpose as well. So you need to have those controls as well. And the most important aspect is the deepfake or the impersonation kind of frauds which are happening. That it's quite easy that somebody might get entered in this live session, right? And probably having the same face of yours or mine, and but the person is somebody else, right? And if they have my voice as well from different videos, they can still try to match it somewhere, right? So it is quite easy and quite possible. Uh, Performing ransomware attacks, what we have seen, there are a lot of threat actors are providing those as a service, ransomware as a service only, right? So these are the emerging threats which we see. And against that, you need to have a usage of AI to put into the different technical controls. I'll give one example is the usage of good XDR. You need to have AI on that. You need to integrate with the threat intel and all that, and then you need to use that to reduce the time of the incident response, at least to the basic events and the basic incidents.
Great. And thank you so much for drawing parallels as well. It's the age of social media. Everybody is on Instagram, on Twitter, X. When it comes to digital media as such, how can individuals take care of their personal cybersecurity? Especially now that you also spoke about deep fakes, it is become a viral. It's become a common trend.
Absolutely. I mean, trust me, your phone has a lot of data, right? I'll say most of the data, right? And when you install the applications, let it be a social media application and any other application, it asks for the different permissions, or by default, it take the permission, right? Nowadays, Apple and all that have restricted, and we need to go give the permission before we use it. So you'll get a pop-up first time, and whatever you select, it will go like that only. So what I would suggest, go to the settings, go to the application controls, see the privacy settings, basically, importantly. For example, why do the Twitter need to have access to your location, right? Why do you want to give access to the location, access to the Instagram, right? And always be a little bit cautious, I'll say, while putting out down the photos and videos that I'm here, I'm doing this, nobody at home, I'm partying outside. That we are actually providing the information. My daughter's name is XYZ, my father's name is ABC, etc. Right? Those information I am only giving on social media. So I'm making it easy for them to impersonate in future and use that kind of data to put me in a panic situation by using those kind of information. So do not put unnecessary information on the social media. Be aware what you're putting, be cautious, lock your profiles, make it visible only to your friends or family and the loved ones. And I'll say use social media. I'll not say don't use social media, but use it wisely, right? You don't have to tell everyone where are you right now. You can put it after a few hours, maybe tomorrow. That also you can do, right? And even if you're doing it, ensure that that is not going to impact somewhere, you know, by using that information, somebody is, going to challenge you later. And also, I'll give you one example. One of the incident happened few days back, and everybody was putting photos on Twitter and Instagram. I will not tell you that what was that incident, but somebody was showing the his, boarding pass. Okay, I got the manual boarding pass first time and all that because of the some incident happened and all that, and the services were not working at the airport, right? And he is giving all the information what is there on the boarding pass, right? Now, we are getting more information towards your personal data as well. So you need to understand what is your personal data and what is your social data, right? Uh, Me being social to the people, I'll not tell everything what I have to tell you. So I always keep it in three ways, right? You have three different lives. I'll say three different kind of a personalities you have. One is your secret personality, which probably known to you and maybe your spouse or maybe anybody who is close to you, right? Second is known to your friends, right? Again, it is private. Third is the social, which is known to everyone. Now you need to categorize those in these three different category. What information you need to put in secret, information you need to in private, and what information you need to put in social. That you have to be cautious of. And importantly, even if you get breached, anything happens, any cyberbullying, anything and everything. Two things you have to do. Please go and report immediately and go offline. That is important.
Absolutely, and rightly said. So, like I think most of the times it is people ourselves we make our own data accessible, knowingly, unknowingly. A lot of times when we use digital media. So, thank you so much for elaborating on that. And again, wrapping up, any key advice or recommendations that you would like to give out to our audience or organizations wanting to elevate their cybersecurity.
So I think thumb rule is very simple, Simran. It is pause, think, and act. Uh, no one can tell you what exactly needs to be done, right? But it is up to you what is important for you, what you need to protect, right? It is on you, not on the your company's CISO or I'll say the state security, right? But I'll keep it in different way that, for example, say Simran's data gets leaked, okay? Some of your data gets leaked, mine data gets leaked, anyone's data get leaked. It gets sold on the dark web, right? And after that, the way they are selling the data, that money is getting utilized for whatever purpose, and it also might get used for the terrorism purpose as well. You never know. So some attacks are happening on your country, right? Are getting actually funded by the because you're getting breached because of your some knowing unknowing act, right? So it is very important to be cyber safe. Keep yourself and your parents, your kids cyber safe. Make them aware about not clicking on the links, not giving any OTP, not giving any of the information to the unknowns. Doesn't matter if they want to block the account, tell them to block the account, right? Doesn't matter if somebody's stuck somewhere. That's okay. They can come out, right, by themselves. You have to double check with somebody else, right, before transferring the money and all that. So that is the only advice I would like to give, that double check, pause, then think, and then only act according to that.
Wonderful, and thank you so much for sharing these key recommendations, Mr. Lakeshri, and thank you for being a part of this session as well. Before we conclude,
Pleasure.
I also have yes. Before we conclude, I also have a couple of rapid fire questions for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, please.
Okay, let's go ahead. What is that one tech gadget that you cannot live without?
Obviously, I think phone,
I think we all know the
mobile
reasons
phone.
for that.
Yeah,
One myth about cybersecurity that you would like to burst.
that we cannot get hacked.
Okay. If you could work remotely from anywhere, where would it be?
Amchi, Mumbai, from
Okay.
my home.
And what is your secret to staying productive?
Uh, Okay, I'm still learning, but I'll say being inquisitive about towards the learning, right? And collaboration, that is important. And most importantly, when you wake up, right, decide what you want to achieve today, right? Before you go to sleep, have your to-do list, what you have done, what you have not done, right? What you have achieved, what you have not achieved, what you need to park for today, and what you need to do tomorrow. That planning gives you the, actual satisfaction before you go to the sleep. And okay, I did what I can do, right? I could have done, I did my best, but whatever comes as an outcome, that's okay. That doesn't matter. But give your best every day. Decide what you want to be, and there is no shortcut. You'll have to have hard work and smart work both.
Absolutely. I think we all can take some inspiration from that. And with that, we would be concluding this session. But I certainly look forward to
Great.
connecting with you once again. Thank you once again for being a part of this live.
Thank you, Simran. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thank you.